Kim kept it more low-key. But of course, when Diddy got caught up in that scandal, Kim was out there acting like they had never even met. She unfollowed him within minutes of the news breaking. It wasn't just a simple unfollow either. Kim's unfollow was like an official public statement. "We're done. Don't come near my brand." Parties and social media shoutouts were suddenly erased with the flick of a finger. And of course Chloe was right there, trying to clean up the mess. But here's where things got a little more complicated. While Kim was busy swiping her followers away from Diddy, Chloe was dealing with a whole different type of drama. Her sister Kourtney's FOMO. Kourtney, the queen of I don't care, was low-key feeling some type of way. You know, she was scrolling through Instagram, seeing Chloe partying it up at Diddy's famous events and thinking, why wasn't I invited to that? Kourtney's the type who doesn't want to miss out on anything. As much as she plays the "I'm too cool for this" card, we all know she's secretly wanting to be in the center of it all. Let's be real. Kourtney's always been a little left out of the wild Kardashian party scene. While Chloe's out there hanging with Diddy, rubbing elbows with A-listers, and posting birthday love on the gram, Kourtney was probably looking for any reason to feel included. It's not like Kourtney doesn't get attention, she just doesn't get the same level of attention as Chloe, and you know that must have stung when she saw her sister getting all the VIP treatment. In a way, this whole situation made Chloe look like the family's PR queen, but it also made Kourtney look like the forgotten sister in the Diddy drama. It's like the family was playing a game of who can distance themselves fastest, and Chloe was trying to juggle the reality of old friendships with the need to be seen as a PR expert. Meanwhile, Kourtney was probably shaking her head thinking, I guess I'll just stay over here and keep it real. As the drama unfolded, even Kanye West had a moment to chime in. During one of his infamous rants, he allegedly said, "They'll do anything to protect their image. Watch how fast they erase Diddy from their history." And honestly, he wasn't wrong. Kim unfollowed him. Chloe played the supportive friend role, and the rest of the family distanced themselves from Diddy like he was a toxic ex. But here's the thing. The Kardashians may try to delete old photos, unfollow and move on, but the internet never forgets. No matter how many birthday posts Chloe deletes, or how many times Kim unfollows people, the receipts are out there. And as the legal troubles surrounding Diddy just get messier, one thing's for sure, Kris Jenner is probably in full damage control mode. She's working overtime, keeping her family's name clean, while Diddy's scandal threatens to ruin the vibe. Kris may be earning her 10%, but right now, she's probably wishing the Diddy drama would just fade into the background. But we all know, in the Kardashian world, drama never fades. It just evolves. Kim and Diddy. The relationship between Kim Kardashian and Diddy has been, well, complicated to say the least. In the early days, Kim and Diddy had a pretty chill friendship. Back when Kim was just a socialite, before the world knew her as the mogul and entrepreneur we know today, she was spotted at some of Diddy's infamous parties. They both rubbed elbows with the biggest names in Hollywood, so it was only natural that their paths crossed. But unlike the more overtly close relationship Diddy had with Chloe, Kim kept it more low-key. But of course, when Diddy got caught up in that scandal, Kim was out there acting like they had never even met. She unfollowed him within minutes of the news breaking. It wasn't just a simple unfollow either. Kim's unfollow was like an official public statement. "We're done. Don't come near my brand." We can only imagine what her PR team was advising her behind the scenes. Kim's all about image, and she knows how to clean it up quickly. So, when the controversy hit, the last thing she wanted was any association with Diddy. Talk about a complete 180. Now, let's not forget that it wasn't just Kim who was involved with Diddy. The rest of the Kardashian-Jenner clan had their own dealings with him too. Chloe, as we've already established, had a long-standing relationship with Diddy dating all the way back to when she was a teenager on his tour. But it wasn't just Chloe getting in on the action. Kourtney and Kendall had spent their fair share of time partying with Diddy as well. In fact, at one point, Kendall was practically a fixture at Diddy's glitzy events. You could always spot her front and center at his A-list shindigs, looking like the supermodel she is. And you know Kris Jenner was all about that life, rubbing elbows with Diddy and the rest of the hip-hop elite. But when Diddy's name was dragged through the mud, you better believe the rest of the Kardashian-Jenner crew was not far behind Kim in pulling back. There's no way they were going to let themselves get caught up in that mess. It was like a game of musical chairs, with each of them quickly distancing themselves from Diddy as the scandal picked up steam. There's an undeniable connection between the Kardashians and Diddy. Over the years they've been in his orbit so often that it's almost impossible to ignore their interactions. But let's be real. The Kardashians know how to survive a scandal. And distancing themselves from Diddy's mess was a smart move. We all know the Kardashians' brand is everything. And nothing, not even their friendships, comes between them and that. That said, it wasn't just Kim pulling the I'm out move. Khloe, Kourtney, Kendall, and even Kris Jenner were doing the same thing, swiftly removing any trace of Diddy from their social media and private lives. It's like they were erasing him from their digital history as fast as possible. Social media users weren't letting them off the hook either. The receipts were out there for anyone to see and people were quick to call them out. It's a classic Kardashian move. When things get messy, they know exactly how to handle the situation, control the narrative, stay silent when necessary, and focus on what matters, protecting their brand. And with Diddy's legal troubles only growing, the Kardashians' move to distance themselves was almost inevitable. If you've been paying attention, you know that Kris isn't just the mastermind behind the Kardashian empire. She's also been good friends with Diddy for years. The two have been spotted at events, partying together, and looking like they were having the time of their lives. But here's where it gets interesting. Diddy was low-key flirting with Kris. Yes, flirting. We all know Diddy's charm is practically a second career, and when he's around, people notice. Diddy's been known to gush about her, and let's be real, who can blame him? But Kris, always the businesswoman, wasn't about to let that flirtation distract her from running the show. She has her eyes on the prize, keeping the Kardashian brand at the top, no matter who she has to befriend or flirt with to make it happen. And if you think Kris was working alone in the aftermath of that infamous Ray J tape, think again. She wasn't just making sure her daughter's career skyrocketed. She had some serious help behind the scenes, and that help came from none other than Diddy. That's right, some insiders swear that Diddy was involved in making sure the tape became the thing everyone was talking about. Was he directly involved? Who knows? But he definitely had the connections and resources to help make it happen. Kris knew exactly how to turn a scandal into an opportunity, and it worked. Kim went from being Paris Hilton's BFF to a household name, all thanks to that tape. But hey, in the world of the Kardashians, business is business. We have a job to do, Kris once said about the family's ability to pivot after the tape was released. If Diddy helped with that, well, can you blame her? Flash forward to today, and Kris is once again showing off her mastermind skills, this time with Diddy's legal troubles. As soon as the news hit, Kris went into full-blown PR mode. If you thought Kim unfollowing Diddy on Instagram was the big move, that was just the tip of the iceberg. Kris was already working with her PR team, trying to erase Diddy from the Kardashian history books faster than you can say delete. As one source said, Kris is doing damage control like we've never seen before. They weren't kidding. And it wasn't just about unfollowing on Instagram. It was about erasing every photo, every mention, every piece of their history with Diddy. They needed to act fast before things got messy. Kris wasn't playing around. After all, she's the one who made sure no one ever forgot about the Ray J tape. We always knew what we were doing, Kris said about the tape years later, with her classic cool demeanor. If she can turn a tape into a TV empire, you better believe she can handle a little legal drama. Even though Diddy's name was starting to disappear from their feeds, some fans weren't ready to let it go. But as far as Kris was concerned, deleting those photos was just part of the plan. And let's not forget, this isn't the first time Diddy and the Kardashians have had to navigate a scandal. But this time, it wasn't just about throwing a party to distract people, it was about keeping their hands clean. Kris was in charge as always, and she knew exactly how to keep her family's reputation intact. In the end, Diddy might have been a huge part of their world for a while, but the second the storm hit, he was gone from their narrative faster than a bad rumor. And honestly, with the way she handled this, it's hard to argue with Kris. Let's start with Kris Jenner. We all know her as the mastermind behind the Kardashian empire. But what if we told you she was also allegedly hiding money in her own church? That's a plot twist you didn't see coming. Word on the street is that Kris wasn't just busy juggling her kids' careers and perfecting her PR strategies, she was also allegedly using her church to launder some of that sweet cash. Apparently this church wasn't exactly preaching about salvation. It was more like a financial haven for the big bucks that needed to be cleaned up. Talk about divine intervention. Now let's talk about Diddy. You know, the man who's made headlines for everything from his music career to his dramatic feuds and now his legal battles. But here's where it gets interesting. Diddy wasn't just an occasional guest at Kris's parties. He was allegedly a regular at her church. Diddy, the same guy who's been in a bit of legal hot water recently, was allegedly helping keep things a little too under wraps. He's really been about that making money moves lifestyle, huh? Can't stop, won't stop. But maybe not in the way we thought. But here's where things get even juicier. You've got Corey Gamble, Kris's boyfriend, who's been riding shotgun through all of this. Corey might be a little quieter in the public eye, but let's be real. He knows exactly what's going on. He's seen Kris pull the strings of the Kardashian empire, and when it comes to Diddy and the alleged behind-the-scenes action, he's probably just doing what he does best, staying out of the way. Corey's not about to get caught up in any mess, especially not with Kris making sure everything runs so smoothly. Now, before we get too far into the conspiracy theories, let's not forget about Lou Taylor. If you don't know who Lou is, well, she's the woman behind a lot of questionable financial dealings in Hollywood, especially when it comes to Britney Spears. Lou's tied to Kris and Diddy, and it wouldn't be a stretch to say she's been part of some creative financial management behind closed doors. One source close to the situation said, "When you're at the top, you have to play a little dirty to stay there." Kris isn't one to shy away from playing the game. If these allegations about money laundering are true, she's got a whole operation running like a well-oiled machine. Kris knows how to keep her name clean while making sure the Kardashian brand stays untouchable. Her business dealings, perfectly crafted, her family's image, pristine. But if you dig a little deeper, there's a whole other world of business going on, one that involves church pews and some very suspicious patrons. In the world of Kris Jenner, nothing is ever as simple as it seems. While Diddy was making his rounds, allegedly patronizing the church, Kris was making sure that the Kardashian empire remained untouchable. If there's one thing Kris knows how to do, it's control the narrative. As she once said, "I'm not just the manager, I'm the mastermind." And let's face it, with the amount of money, power, and alleged shady dealings in play, she's probably right. So, whether Corey's silently watching, Diddy's playing the role of a devoted churchgoer, or Kris is laughing her way to the bank, the Kardashian-Jenner empire is proving once again that it knows how to navigate the drama. Let's just hope they've got a good financial advisor.